Hey there, my name is Michael Greenwood. So for this video, I'm gonna um, talk about market saturation. So if you're running a business, own a business, thinking about starting a business, a freelancer, in any space, but I'm going to talk about specifically about the creative space. So web designers, logo designers, graphic designers, social media management, anything like that. Should you start a business in 2025 in any of those sectors, or is it all saturated? Right. So if you've got a business idea and you want to be a web designer, for example, and people around you are saying, look, Dave or Julie or whatever your name is, it's saturated. Lots of people are doing that. Don't bother. You'll fail. Should you listen to those people? For a start, if they've got jobs and they've never had a business, then I'm sorry, but they do not know what they're talking about. So you wouldn't take advice about having, I don't know, an art operation from somebody who sells fish, for example, or somebody who works in a post office, somebody who's not an art surgeon. You want an art surgeon to take advice from on that, don't you? So I've put together an illustration of whichever market. So let's say we'll take web design for instance. Let's say you want to start a web design company or you want to be a web design freelancer, and you're just exploring whether you're going to be able to make money doing it. Right. So with web design, this is the market, right? You've got those at the top who charge the most and have the best clients and can do better work for the clients because they're charging more, they've got more resources, right? And then you've got those kind of in between, and then you've got those at the bottom, right? Now, those at the bottom are charging the less, the least. The usually got the clients who are more of a pain in the backside because they want more for less, because they themselves might have a mindset of paying less for things, and they're just demanding more. Yeah, it's usually the clients who pay you less that are more hassle. So you'll do you'll have a easier time if you get better. That's the thing. To be at the top, to be one of the best at web design, for example, or logo design or graphic design, whichever creative business you choose, the better you are, the more of an expert, the more you know what you're doing, the more you know, the more you've done your 10,000 hours, to own your craft. Basically, you'll be able to charge better, get the best clients. So there's a lot less at the top, and they're going for the lion's share of the best clients. Yeah, and then at the bottom, you've got people scrambling about for the scraps, bottom feeder stuff. Really. Now, I'm not making this video to disrespect anybody who's working anywhere, but I know a lot of people who are working here and they're not making enough money. They're not even making like the average wage in the UK, which is about 35k from doing what they're doing. They'll be struggling to make like 40, 50k at the bottom here in web design. And there's actually been some recent questionnaires, recent questionnaire, and it's proven that exact thing. I might comment on that as well. I might do a video commenting on that. And it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame. When I'm in some Facebook groups, some business groups, I'm seeing people offering web design services for the same, if not less money as I were offering web design services for 15, 16 years ago when I first started the business in 2009. So it's like the price is just still the same. There's been no appreciation. There's been no pricing confidence. The prices should have gone up in that time. At this bottom end, anyway. At the top end, it's a different story. Let me give you some. Let me give you some figures. Let me give you some figures. So, when I say bottom end, I'm talking like 2k or less. 2k or less. And now there's some guys that they're doing, some people, they're doing websites for 500 quid or 100 quid or free. And you pay for your web hosting, which is like 20 quid a month. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so they're doing these websites for free because they want to upsell them something else. But what they don't understand is when you do something for free, you won't find a quality client. So if you do something for free with a client, trying to upsell them something like £1,000 a month, they're not going to be able to get their head around it. So if you want to sell them an SEO at £1,000 a month plus SEO upsell, you're not going to be able to do it. Yeah. Clients who pay £1,000 per month for SEO pay more for a website. These are in your like your 4 to 6K, yeah, 4 to 6K. So these are more your, let's say two to six, yeah. Because are they going to SEO at £1,000 a month, 12 grand a year, at least £2,000 a month, 24 grand, £3,000 a month, 10 grand a month, something that they've only paid £2,000 or less for, or 500 quid or free? No, they're going to want SEO at £50 a month or something. But then if they're paying £50 a month for SEO, which is £600, I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't really delve into that. But so some prospects have got an idea that they want to pay £50 for something, like a month for something, which is £600 a month for something. And it's like, well, what kind of return on investment do you want to get for £600 a year on marketing? It's like, what? You'll be able to get a course for that and DIY it. I can go into that in a video. But there's 3 ways of agency making money. It's DIY, done for you, or done with you. I've got it in wrong order. Done with you. Why am I putting a U for you? We're doing text speak or something. So now we're moving the triangle about. So that should be in the middle. That should be that one anyway. So there's different ways, and you can obviously charge more for done for you. When you do a website for somebody, it's done for you. But if somebody's only got £600 to invest in something, then it's usually going to be DIY. They're going to have to buy a course and then do it themselves. Done with you is coaching, basically. You coach, you impart some information. It's a two-way street. Client does something, but anyway, we'll delete that because it's just illustrating that point. Here you're talking more 5 or 6K. We'll say 2 to 5K because we want to continue this 2K thing. So we'll say 2 to 6K. And then here is just like 6K plus it's 20K, 25K website, 100K website, and more. Yeah. So we'll big range. It depends. How long's a piece of string? 6K to 100K plus, I'll say something like that. And then, yeah. So this is it. This is the market. And look, insight number 1 is, if you want to make money with web design or any creative business, can I not move that? If you want to make good money with it and, not be stressed all the time and be scrambling, competing against so many people, why would you compete when there's more people, when it's more saturated? So that's number 1. Number 2 is, you've got to be good to compete at the highest level, but there'll be less people, but then higher quality of clients, or you'll be able to upsell better services that are going to help them. So look, for example, if a company is turning over 2 million a year or 10 million a year or whatever, are they going to trust somebody who does a 500 quid website? Is that even worth their time to speak to you in a discovery call? So you're going to be, if you're doing 500 quid websites, which I emphasize that when I first started, that was still cheap. Like 500 quid website was cheap, But yeah, I see people doing like 100 quid websites, free websites. and then hoping to upsell them something, but they can't upsell them. They can't upsell them. They're not going to make money. Look, let's do some maths. If you it takes a day to do a website, day or two to do 15 hours to do a website, 2 days, yeah. You might be able to do it quicker, I don't know. Maybe a day, I don't know. But I don't really get hands-on with that stuff anymore. But let's say it takes you 7 hours to do a website. Let's say half of your time you're doing marketing and sales, half the time you're doing service delivery. Let's say you're a freelancer, 7 hours. So you can do 2.5 websites a week. So that's 10 websites a month. So let's say you did sell 10 websites a month and you did them for free. 10 times 20. So that'd be 200 quid in your first month. So let's say you did it consistently, you never went on holiday, which is unrealistic. Let's say you're working 10 months out of the year, right? So for 10 months, you're going to be, first month you're going to do 200. Next month you're going to do 400. Next month you're going to do 600 because you've got 20 quid every month. You add in 10 more clients, 800, 1,000 a month. So it's going to take you, and you're hoping to upsell as well. And I don't think it's going to work. I've not seen it work. So that's after 6 months. I can't be bothered to do any more on that, but it's going to take you 6 months to get to £1,200 a month. If you're good, you could have just, if you're at this level, you could have just charged £2,000 for one website, and made double, nearly double what you made in 6 months with this silly model. Now, okay, let's say you're an established agency, and you can do this to undercut the market, and maybe there's companies doing that, I don't know, but maybe that's a thing, right? Let's try it with this model then. So and to sell 10 websites a month, it depends. You've got to know what you're doing in terms of your marketing and sales to make 10 sales every month consistently. So does it work? I don't think that model works. And then when it comes to upsell, you're really going to go to a client and say you've got a free website, and say, oh, do you want SEO at £1,000 a month or whatever? So they're going to spend 12 grand a year with you, but on a free website, is it really worth it? And they're probably going to go elsewhere anyway. They're not going to have confidence, and they're probably not going to be a client who wants a free website. They're not going to go for that. So yeah, right. This end then, 6 grand for a website. Don't want to be charging any less than 5 or 6 grand for a website. I don't think, like 4 grand minimum. 4 grand minimum. Really, there's a lot that goes into a website: web accessibility, usability, all that kind of thing. Yeah, you can upsell £1,000 ads management fee, £1,500 ads management fee, £2,000 ads management fee, social media, bit of SEO, something like that. You can go up in stages of £500 for services or £1,000 for services or whatever. Because coming back to this bit, let's say your model is a bit bait and switch, because I've seen this, where you say it's a free website, and then on the back end you're saying you pay for domain, domain and hosting sold separately. Yeah. Bit sneaky, that, a bit bait and switchy for me, but they're doing it. But have they got a thriving business model? How do you have work-life balance or whatever by doing this model? Because I don't think you're going to be able to upsell. Oh, how much is it a page then? Oh, it's 100 quid a page or 80. Plus, so you're done with this website. They can update it themselves with the content management system, but then, it's 80 quid a page. So you end up doing them 5 pages, and you get what would have been like nearly a 500 quid website anyway, which wasn't even as much as I was charging 16 years ago, because it's just a price war race to the bottom. It's just all bottom feeder stuff. It's just all bottom feeder stuff. Really, anything like this, maybe not 2 grand. 2 grand's okay, but I think that's still cheap. But it depends if you're charging them for ads as well, and it's a full package, and it's part of a package and all that kind of thing, economies of scale, etc. But 500 quid websites, even, it's ridiculous. So to get to £10,000 a month, for example, you'd have to do 20 websites, per month. That's a lot of websites. It's a lot of websites just to get to that. That's why a lot of these guys, a lot of these girls doing this, they're not making money. They're not making more than average. They're making less than an average wage after all the costs. Yeah, I know you're your own boss. Yeah, I know that, all that kind of thing. What is the solution then, Michael? I don't want to be all negative. What is the solution? Charge more, pricing confidence, charge for a consultation, right? Charge for a scoping document, charge for educating a client, pick better clients, pick clients who can afford how good you are, get better at what you're doing. This is the thing. Do you really know SEO? Do you know web accessibility? Do you know color theory? Do you know about the H1 tags in the SEO and the accessibility? Do you really know this stuff? If not, then that's all you should be getting paid. And you're not as good as these guys and everything, and guys like me, to be frank. But this is where you want to be. There's more people here. Can you see where this is in the triangle? There's more people here than here. Maybe they should come down a bit. I don't know, but it's not exactly this. But let's have it like that. I just want to distinguish that there's a load of people here. There's quite a few people here. There's not many people here. Charge more, better clients, less headaches here. Middle ground, pretty good. Can upsell them. You just somebody a £4 grand website. You can charge them. You could charge them £1,000 a month retainer for some marketing, or 1,500, or 2 grand, or 2.5 grand, or 5 grand a month. But nobody's going to entertain you if you're here, man. And people are just gonna see you as the cheap person who does the cheap web developer who must cut the corners, or maybe they don't know what they're doing, or that's all they can do because that's all they know. But do you know what? You're underselling yourself if you're really good. If you're really good and you're doing websites which are really good and you're doing them for cheap, and you think you're doing people a favour and you don't want to rip them off, and I'm just happy to do that. I'm happy. I love doing my job and all that kind of thing. I'm not really a business person. That's fine, but you got to understand that you're actually doing a disservice to the industry that you're in as well. It's actually a bit criminal what you're doing, by kind of turning other people in the same industry. So if you are really good and you're just cheap, that's even worse, man. You should be charging more, man. Come on, start charging more. So, but I've seen a lot of this work that's done at this price. It's all shaving, cutting corners, not doing things properly, not doing on-page SEO, not doing accessibility. People don't know what they don't know, but a lot of these guys they've got 2 weeks training, don't even know what they're doing and all that kind of thing. It's a big shame for the industry. It needs regulation, but really it actually just needs I don't know. It just leave them to it is what I say. But I just want to help some people out of this actually, and help some people, help some business owners not get scammed by a lot of this stuff as well, where it's in all that. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's some good stuff here. But there's a lot of nasty stuff going on in this sector as well, with this part of the swamp, the dregs of the bottom feeder area of the web design, or whichever bit of the creative industry that you want to talk about. So yeah, that's my input into that one. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Should we be elevating our industry? Why are people still charging the exact same money as they were when I first started 16 years ago in 2009? Why is that? Why are people not waking up to this? What is happening? Are people just like watching an old course or something on how to do a website from 2010 and thinking that people charge 500 quid for a website? This is insane. Is it because of AI? Is it because of your likes of build your own website and stuff like that? That's got a place. Nothing against that. If somebody wants to DIY it, that's absolutely fine. But I'm talking about somebody building a website, a web designer. I'll put web designer in quotes because I don't know how many use Figma and Photoshop or whatever for PSDs or designs or whatever it is. I don't. I'm seeing a lot of templates being knocked together. I'm seeing a lot of things being dragged and dropped and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's design. It's a lot of templates. Nothing wrong with it, but just know what you're paying for. If you're from the side of this coin where you're a business owner looking on, you're not sure how to pick. Very difficult. I understand it, and I feel for you. But I would say look around here if you want something that's going to work. The proof's in the pudding. If you're looking at this as a business owner, look for some video testimonials. Is the web design company creating websites that are marketing machines? That's the main thing. That's how you tell if it's any good. Are you going to pay 500 quid on a website for your 5 million turnover company? I don't think you are anyway, so I don't think you're in danger of getting into the kind of swamps here with this rubbish. But I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm just saying that proportion of it. It becomes harder to be discerning when you're looking at this and all that kind of thing. There might be students doing these websites. There might be this, that, and the other, and maybe that's okay. But I'm talking about like the seasoned guys who don't know how to charge and the kind of the kind of been pushed about with people entering the market and on this kind of thing. Elevate yourself, come out of here, get better and better pricing. If you're already good, pricing confidence is the thing. Put your prices up. When you put your prices up, then you charge more, you get a better quality of client, less headaches, you can do a better job for them, you can do the added value of that, the accessibility. That's got to be cut out here. I've looked at the code of some of these in the portfolio. I've been in the Facebook groups. I'll do your website for free. I've looked at the code. It's bloaty, lots of code when there could be one line of code and 20 lines of code. Mishmosh. No on-page SEO, bad accessibility. We've got white text on yellow backgrounds, breaking color contrast, sensibilities. It's just vile to me. The purist in me in terms of the design just is sickened by this stuff, ranty. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this and go and sit outside for a bit. Yeah, see you later.